Well, good afternoon and welcome to Mama Jane's husband and to
Mama Jane.
And we're going to talk to you about our visit to Aruba yesterday upon the Queen Elizabeth Cunard, and we are on a day, goodness knows what, of a 43-day cruise on Cunard. And we're having a great time, and we thought we'd tell you about our experiences in Aruba. Now, Aruba is a small island. It's only 77 square miles, and it's 20 miles off Venezuela. And we arrived there early yesterday morning, didn't we, Mama Jane?
We did, and that was lucky because we'd got a tour booked around the island, and indeed, I think the tour start at
Quarter to eight.
Quarter to eight.
We were on the bus at 7:30 and we left at 7:45.
And it's a jolly good job we did, because as we were driving round and stopping at all the different places, then we could see all the other tour buses arriving. So we didn't have any crowds and such, but it is worth remembering, if you're doing it yourself, try and get off the ship early and get an early taxi or bus.
It's cooler and not as humid as well then,
yes,
isn't it?
Yes, it is, yeah.
So like Mama Jane said, we got on a bus and an organised tour, and we set off around the island. And the first part of the tour took us past all the beaches. And there's two main beach areas in Aruba. There's the low-rise beaches and the high-rise beaches. And the low-rise beach contains a beach called Eagle Beach, which was apparently voted the third best beach in the world. So we're looking forward to getting there sometime. We didn't get there yesterday. And then you go to a high-rise part of the beach where Palm Beach is, again, apparently another famous beach. But it's called low-rise beach because there's no high-rise buildings there. And it's called high-rise beaches because there's lots of high-rise beaches, isn't there, Mama Jane?
There are so many flats, hotels and timeshares. That, you think, how do they all make business? And so many new ones being built as well. Quite a few new ones.
Big,
huge.
Yeah.
And the casinos.
Well, how many casinos are there?
Did you say 16?
Apparently there's 16 casinos on this small island.
And will there be more because these new hotels will contain them? So it's obviously the place if you like casinos.
Yeah.
But they are beautiful looking, and nice gardens and things. So
and perhaps we'll explore some of them next time we come to
Aruba.
Aruba.
We're here. Yeah.
And then we had our first stop, our official stop, where we got off the bus on the tour, and that was at the Lighthouse. What do you think of that, Mama Jane?
It was a lighthouse, and there's not a lot you can say, is there? It was not no great stories about it or anything. It was a lighthouse.
A bit like yesterday's stop at Grand Turk, which also had a lighthouse.
Yeah.
Is if you're from a country with lots of lighthouses, like England, a lighthouse is not that remarkable.
No.
But if you're from a country where you don't see lighthouses, and you've not got shipwrecks, and you're not only living on an island, then perhaps they're interesting to you.
Yeah.
But
it was a nice place to stop for photographs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would I say you must see this lighthouse? A bit like the one on Grand Turk yesterday.
No.
They wouldn't be at my top of my list for tourist attractions. No. Gosh. And then when did we go?
When did we go then? Then the next place. Now this was lovely. This was a little church, and not just because we're in the trade, but because it was a lovely place. And leading to it, as you drove along the road, there were what we call stations of the cross, which are normally inside a building. These were outside the building, leading up to it. Very tiny little church.
Very plain.
Very plain. And outside, if this makes sense, there was some pews inside, but then outside there were some built stone pews, so that when they do have a service, particularly Easter, and it's quite busy, then there was room for people to sit.
And because there's not much rain on Aruba, it's quite safe having an outside service. Now in England, if you plan an outside service, well, there's always a chance.
You best pray a lot as well.
Yeah. It's going to rain.
Yeah.
So that's fine. And
and inside this church, I noticed there were little candles. You know, lots of churches have candles lit, and I thought, where do they get them candles from then? And they were the bigger, sort of longer-lasting candles. Couldn't see them, but then when we went back outside, one of the little trinkety stalls, souvenir stalls, which set up randomly, they did sell them. So if you're into candle lighting, you can.
Everywhere we stopped, you had these little trinket stalls, and there would be somebody selling water and other drinks and fruit.
Yeah, big melons and coconuts, things like that they'd be chopping up, and you'd just buy a piece.
And they were all reasonably priced, I thought.
Yes, they were.
A bottle of water was $1.
Yeah.
Which I don't think is unreasonable.
No, not at all.
And then there was also next to this chapel a labyrinth. A prayer walk labyrinth, which I like anyway, and this one was a peace labyrinth, and I'll insert some photos of it, and it was very lovely done. So we found it a really holy site.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
We said some prayers in there for people, and we really loved it.
Yeah, it was
we?
Nice. Yeah.
And we moved on from there to our next stop, which was these rock formations. Now, these rock formations had quite a bit of stalls, and there was a permanent bar there, and there was a couple of toilets, one which was free but wasn't particularly that nice, and one you paid $1 to go in, and that was beautifully maintained. So part with your dosh and have a decent toilet break is my advice.
If you're a man, it could have been quite an adventure, because the door, there wasn't really a door. There was certainly, as the door was open, you could see all the urinals. So if you're a bit shy, I suggest you spend $1.
We're rapidly discovering that if you're a man, it's quite an adventure going to the toilet abroad. But the rock formations, the guy didn't say too much about them, and you couldn't get up them. I couldn't get up them. You have to be quite fit and able to get up these rock formations. I'm sure you had beautiful views when you did, but there was no handrail. The steps were a bit wobbly in places, and I decided not to risk it. I might have got up, but getting down might be another fact.
And also, we did only have 20 minutes, and I think really to make the effort and take the risk, you need to make more of it than 20 minutes. But it was nice, and again, all the little stalls were selling the water and fruit and things like that.
And then we moved on to the next stop. Which was the next stop, Mama Jane?
That was the bridge.
Yeah, the bridge. Yeah. It was wild out there, wasn't it?
It was wild.
It was. So there was this natural phenomenon of a bridge with the water going underneath. And they had and it was called the baby bridge, because the big bridge collapsed several years ago. So this was called the baby bridge, and there's a baby version of the bigger version which collapsed. And it is a nice natural phenomenon, but the surrounding area was just rugged and beautiful, and the waves were crashing into the place. It was a stunning place, and well worth the visit. And I got some fantabby-dibby-dobby photos, which I insert for you.
Because this kind of bridge is not uncommon. No. Various countries, and indeed England,
got several in England,
have similar things. So, but it was well worth seeing. And as I said, there was a big. I didn't go into the big, big shop thing. I didn't go into that, but it looked quite as if it was a bar and everything like that in there. Yeah.
On the way, we passed a redundant gold mine, which they'd had in Aruba, and a few other places. And then we had our tour back to Aruba itself, Oranjestad, which is where the cruise port is, and we were dropped off at the cruise ship. The whole tour took about 3.5 hours, so it was quite a substantial tour. I really enjoyed it. The tour guide was excellent, I thought.
Excellent.
He also drove as well as spoke, and he was good. He got top marks from me, really.
Yeah.
And then when we got back to the ship, we decided to set out and explore Oranjestad. And it was by now very hot, very humid, and thankfully we had learnt our lesson at Grand Turk, and we were wearing hats. and boy, did we need them.
We did. I think one thing you need to, if you're used to Caribbean, you know what I'm talking about. We have never done the Caribbean before, so I knew it would be hot, very hot. So what was yesterday's temperature?
Too hot. 28, 29.
28, 29, which for here is not hot.
No.
For England, it's, whoa, this is hot. But what I'd not thought about was the humidity. And
It gets you.
It gets you. So you really have got to pace yourself. I mean, we're used to doing city breaks where we walk for miles and we go and see stuff and stop and have a drink and all this. You really have got to pace yourself because you are totally wrecked otherwise.
We were a bit silly yesterday.
We were
weren't
stupid yesterday, yeah.
Yeah. We did almost 15,000 steps yesterday.
Yeah.
In too humid conditions.
In a couple of hours.
Yeah, we weren't sensible.
No.
But we had a wild time.
Yeah, we did.
Because we first called at a bar called Iguana Joe's, which is in quite an old Dutch building where there's a shopping centre. And if you go upstairs, there's a place called Iguana Joe's, and the food that was being served looked lovely. You have the size of each dish is enormous.
We didn't eat there.
We didn't eat there. We were very hot. We were very thirsty, and we had a Diet Coke, which also was massive. And I didn't finish it. Mama Jane didn't finish it, which is unusual. And but we had, and as you can see, bought a T-shirt there. They had a T-shirt sale.
T-shirt sale.
$10. Good, very good quality.
Very patterned on the back, but you can't see that.
Can't see that. So, and then after the Diet Coke, we felt refreshed and we walked on down, and we done some research and we found a little beach close to the cruise ship called the Renaissance Beach. But when we got there, it said private and we couldn't get on the beach. Now, we were led to believe there was no such things as private beaches on Aruba, but we decided not to make an issue of it because we could see another beach nearby, and we thought, well, we'll go there. Now, that was called the Governor's Beach. We went on there, and I had a swim in it's a park Mama Jane somewhere, and I had in the shade, park Mama Jane in the shade, and I stripped off and went in for a swim, and it was a lovely swim and beautifully cooling, and I really enjoyed it. It was unusual in that there was something growing on the seafloor, and it came right up to the seashore. So it was odd walking in sea and you were walking on some sort of plant. It was a little bit unnerving in places. And further along the coast, they'd started giving off some tentacles as well. So I don't quite know what they were. I took some photos and I'll insert them for you to see them. But somebody might want to try and identify them for it. So I had a bit of a swim and a bit of a cool down, was lovely. But we also saw there a little restaurant, didn't we, Mama Jane?
Oh, it was lovely.
What was it called?
I don't know.
West Side?
No.
West Point?
I can't remember.
We'll find it for you. Yes.
And it was all open. So
and it's right on the beach.
Yeah, it was absolutely lovely.
Yeah.
The staff were lovely, the food was lovely.
Yeah.
Cautionary tale, the main courses are enormous, and so I had just had a starter which in England certainly was as big than any main course would be. So I had the starter, you had a burger. And which was a lovely homemade
burger, massive burger. Yeah, they put apple in it. Top marks for that.
And then we had sweet potato fries, which in England, sweet potato fries are like ordinary fries, ordinary chips, but with sweet potato. Here, they're like hash browns, if you will, but with sweet potato. And they were lovely. They were really lovely.
But very small. They were made into cubes, small balls, really. Yeah, of hash brown.
So they were quite unusual.
Very nice.
But they were lovely. Yeah.
Very enjoyable. Yeah. Watch out for the lager. The lager's quite strong. So, be careful. 6.8% for those of you who know what I mean, drinking lager, so be careful with that. You had a margarita, didn't you, Mama Jane?
No, pina colada.
Pina colada. Ah.
What's it like?
How can I confuse my pina
Your
colada?
pina colada with your margaritas.
One's an advert, one's not. Then we had that, and we started our way back, didn't we?
Yeah.
Saw a little lizard.
Oh yeah, that was nice.
That was nice.
Now this is when it also started to get difficult because the temperature by now and the humidity was so hot and wet. I don't know what percent humidity it is. I'm sure some clever person will tell me, but it was hot. But we came across the shops now.
Oh gosh.
I mean, we've been told on videos that we've watched said, there's lots of jewellery shops, gold shop. You cannot believe how many. Every shop nearly is gold or
jewellery,
as in proper stuff. I don't just mean
designer clothes.
Yeah,
and they're all official outlets.
Yeah, they weren't market stalls. These are proper shops.
Yeah, weren't fake stuff. It was all proper. There was loads and loads of shopping.
So I'm not
sure. It's the place to come if you're into shopping, really.
Yeah.
So we found a little shopping mall, didn't we, on the way back? Which had which had a Starbucks in it.
It did, with free Wi-Fi.
With free Wi-Fi. So we had a Starbucks and free Wi-Fi and a cool down, and it acted as a staging post to us getting home. We found some public toilets, which were
now on the toilets
excellent.
Again, I mean, we do other things other than visit toilets. Although perhaps,
but at our age, we need to go quite a lot.
Perhaps that would be a good video. Do you think? Toilets,
no,
I have. Okay.
No.
They were exquisite. The word exquisite.
No, it certainly wouldn't be a bog standard video, would it?
They were free and they were absolutely lovely.
Yeah.
So if you need a pee in Aruba, that's the place.
And in this shopping mall, there was a bar called It's 5 O'Clock Somewhere, which if you're an Alan Jackson fan, you know what I'm talking about. And we didn't get time to have a drink there as we needed to get back to the cruise ship, because by now Mama Jane was getting very anxious. She wanted to get back to the cruise ship.
It wasn't that I was anxious about the cruise, it was that I was knackered. Can I say knackered on a video? I think so, yeah.
You look knackered.
I was knackered, yeah, because the heat, as I said, and the humidity had really...
It was.
taken its toll. We were stupid. You know the song Mad Dogs and Englishmen? Well, we
Out
were...
in the noonday sun.
We were yeah, but noonday sun starts at 11 in Aruba and lasts
and goes on till
hours.
about 3 or 4 o'clock.
Yeah. So that's the highest temperature time.
So then we walked back to the cruise ship.
We did.
Past loads and loads of shops and market stalls and things like this. And it was quite a nice walk. It was just so hot and humid.
Yeah.
We got back to the ship, and we were at the berth where we had to walk. There was a Royal Caribbean ship in it as well. We got in first early in the morning, so we'd had to park at the furthest berth away. And then... so we had quite a walk back to the cruise ship, even once we were in the cruise port. But we got back safely, and we had a fabulous time.
We did.
And would we go again to Aruba?
Yes, definitely.
And what we're going to try and do next time we go to Aruba?
There's a price list up for taxis as you get off the ship, and I think it was about $7 to get to the nice beaches, and
one way.
Yeah, one way. And the people we had been speaking to who had indeed done this were very satisfied. They said, don't pay the taxi up front for a return journey. Either just pay it one way or
book your return, and you pay them on the return journey.
Yeah.
Make sure they turn up then, don't they?
Yeah.
And we are back at Aruba on another cruise sometime.
Yes,
so we're going to go and visit Eagle Beach and Palm Beach next time, aren't we?
Yeah.
So that's it. So we had a great time at Aruba. So it's a goodbye from Mama Jane.
And it's a goodbye from him.
Goodbye.